Thanks everyone for coming out to the Russell Township Park District special meeting tonight. We're going to open the meeting with a brief conversation on Dines Road property, followed by comments from the board, then we will open it up for public comment. I've run the meetings more public forum style, but due to the crowd and a lot of unfamiliar faces here tonight, we're going to ask that you come up to the podium to speak, that each Russell resident who would like to speak can state their name and address, and speak directly to the park board. We ask everyone to speak once, we give you 2 minutes, and we can speak about the issues at hand tonight, Dines Road conservation easement and the potential leasing of the park lands. So I'm just going to give a quick update on the Dines Road conservation easement. Martha Dempsey has been kind enough to offer a donation to cover the cost of that conservation easement. And currently, we are talking with Western Reserve Land Conservancy about drawing up the easement.
Just speak up a little bit.
Sure. Currently, we're talking with Western Reserve to.
You should have microphones there so everybody can hear.
Yeah.
Everybody has. We can hear him.
All right. Well.
I don't know why you didn't say that. We can hear him.
Yeah. Well. So. Martha has been kind enough, and we're working with Western Reserve to get that done. There's already been a public records request from an attorney, Jim McGonigal, who I believe probably represents a developer that has an interest in the property next to that. So we will give out that information, but we'll continue to move forward with the conservation easement at this time. Does anyone have any questions on this topic real quick? All right, Donna, if you'd like to start us off, anything you'd like to say?
Yeah,
Just start.
well, I have some discussion on the lease agreement, but since that has not entered the conversation yet,
Okay.
I want to respond to that agreement.
Okay. Dennis?
I just have a few comments about the potential leasing, and as I review everything over the last 10 months and what we've been through and our budgets and how we've been stonewalled sometimes at every effort we've had to improve some things and get some more money, it just seems that, I don't want to say it's a conspiracy, but we seem to be getting shut down for everything we try to do. Township's taking money away, with the audit taking longer than it should. There's just a whole list of things that have happened that are precedent to this board. And at one point in time, went to the 511 board meeting on July 5th, I think it was, and asked for some cooperation from Roy and Perry. And all they had to say was they have their own agenda. And the trustees have their own agenda. And what that agenda is, I don't know. Nobody seems to know. Nobody wants to cooperate with us. We've been to the trustees. We've offered to give them 2 spots on our board to make it a 5-person board. And they want to have nothing to do with it. So that people can feel more like there's more representation. Even though we're all Russell residents, we're all Russell residents, but we're appointed by the judge, which some people have a problem with. But what their agenda is, I don't know. We've been transparent for everything we've done. We've tried to let everybody know. We've taken their opinions. We've done everything we can. But unfortunately, there's certain people that keep stonewalling us, and they put us in this position to turn to the Jogga Park District to lease them the land. Unfortunately, that's where we're at right now. We're going to have this discussion tonight about potentially leasing the land to the Jogga Park. And that's all.
Okay. I have a little bit more. I know we're here tonight to talk about the parks. However, recently Shelley Chernin attacked my character and my ability to make independent decisions in a letter to the editor, and I'd like to take just a minute to address those concerns. As many of you have no doubt heard, I'm employed at the Geauga County Juvenile Court as a case manager. I was offered a temporary position with the court to fill in for 8 weeks while one of the court staff was on maternity leave. I was asked to fill in after receiving recognition for strong performance as a volunteer role as a court-appointed special advocate at CASA for Children. I continued working at Geauga Community Action and fully expected to remain there after helping with the court for 2 short months. In late January, I was asked to stay on. I am now torn as to whether or not I should have announced that change at a park board meeting. I'm a private person and still feel that my job has no bearing on how I behave as a park commissioner. But I now understand how not announcing that looks to a number of you in the audience today. I'm sorry for that. What I can say now is that a resident and homeowner of Russell Township, I also serve our community as a mentor, as a Next Step Advisory Board member, as a member of the West Geauga School District Communications Committee, and as the president of the West Geauga Soccer Club. I urge anyone who has doubts about my character or motives to reach out to others in the community and see what they have to say about me. Some here tonight will no doubt try to achieve their goals through character assassination. Yes, there have been some missteps, but I've been consistent in my goal to provide all of you with as much information as possible. Here are some examples worth hearing. When this board voted at a special meeting on September 29th to enter into discussions regarding a lease and no residents attended the meeting, I chose to tell you about it at the October 8th meeting and published the minutes soon after. Consider this, your township trustees have not posted their minutes since August 15th. They have held 4 meetings since that meeting. This board has held every scheduled meeting this year and added 8 special meetings to keep residents informed of our actions. When the 511 board became uncomfortable with possible questions about the upcoming levy, they simply canceled their October board meeting. This board has been and remains above board in our actions. Next, I want to thank Ms. Weiss Carson and Mr. Suhay for the immense amount of work they've put into this park board. They're community volunteers, and I appreciate their work. I couldn't serve with 2 finer individuals. Their dedication and fight have positively impacted this park board and the citizens of Russell Township. While many here tonight will never know the countless hours you've spent, many more will not thank you for your work. I thank you all. Thank you, Don. Thank you, Chris. I also want to thank Ms. Hepper, our clerk pro tem, for the many hours she has dedicated to this park board. She sits up here month after month, enduring harsh criticisms, but without the same ability we have to defend her position. For that alone, she should be commended. Thank you, Joe. On behalf of the Russell Township Park District, I greatly appreciate the positive feedback received from dozens of Russell residents for this board treating all members of the public with fairness, courtesy, and respect, and for being open and transparent, welcoming community comments at our meetings, engaging in healthy discussions, and posting meeting minutes, community surveys, and other documents on our website. In that spirit, I'll continue to be open and transparent in sharing my plans to conserve and protect Russell Township parklands. While not required, I'm going to tell you all how I came to the decision to open up discussions with the Geauga Park District to lease some of our park properties. When I decided to ask to be a member of this board, I told my wife Dawn and some of my closest friends that what mattered most to me was to keep the parkland under Russell Township ownership in the long term. Unlike the trustees, the 511 board, and some of the activist friends here tonight, I told my friends and family that handing over the parklands to the 511 board was not as simple as they had made it out to be. The statute is clear on this matter. If the board is dissolved, all of the land must be offered to the Ohio Department of Natural Resources, ODNR. I remind everyone that ODNR is a partner with Akron on a horribly managed logging project at Ladue Reservoir, where 600 trees have been cut without any consideration for the damage they are causing to the environment. These same people will tell you ODNR has no interest in our land. There's no way to know that for certain. I encourage everyone here to go to the ODNR website and see all of the small properties they do hold around the state. If the Russell Township parklands make it past the first hurdle of the ODNR, we would be dissolved. The probate court, by statute, is required to offer the parkland to any other agency of the state or any political subdivision or instrumentality of the state located within the former park district. Does anyone in this room think the probate court will offer the parkland to the 511 board or the Russell trustees? The likely scenario is that the land is offered to another entity without any input from us permanently. A year ago, when this board came together, I think all of us were content to steward the parklands and see what happened 3 or 9 years from now in Sharp. However, from day one, we have come under constant and coordinated attack by a small but vocal minority. This is a short list of some of the many things that we've endured as volunteers on this board. Early on, an effort spearheaded by Trustee Mueller to convince a volunteer board with limited operating funds to take on the massive project of owning and operating a 150-year-old farmhouse. His bullying tactics fractured the township trustees and this board. While we have been able to repair our fracture, they have not. 2, after much needed tree care and trail maintenance at the Russell Uplands Preserve was completed under the approval and supervision of the Western Reserve Land Conservancy, which holds